Owning a British classic car is a bit like living with a polite housemate who smiles warmly, makes excellent tea, and quietly rearranges your life while you're not looking. You think you're in charge, you're not, and if you listen closely, you'll realize your car is plotting against you, not out of malice, but out of tradition. Let's start with the first plot. Number 1, timing. Your British classic has an impeccable sense of when to misbehave. It will never fail on a random Tuesday when you have nothing planned. No, it waits patiently for the exact moment you're heading to a wedding, a long-awaited drive, or somewhere that requires arriving without the scent of petrol and regret. Triumphs, Bristols, old Jaguars, they all share this gift. They'll idle perfectly for weeks, then suddenly decide that today is the day the starter motor feels emotionally unavailable. And the thing is, it won't be dramatic about it. There'll be no bang, no warning light, just silence, as if to say, I'm terribly sorry, but no. The second plot is more subtle. Number 2, confidence erosion. British classics are masters of psychological warfare. One good drive and you feel invincible. You start thinking, I've sorted it now. You tell friends it's actually quite reliable. This is when the car strikes. A minor rattle appears, then a smell, then a noise that wasn't there yesterday and absolutely is there now. Is it serious? Is it nothing? You don't know. That's the point. A Land Rover will convince you that every vibration is either completely normal or the beginning of the end, and you'll never know which. A classic Mini will make you question whether that pull to the left is new or simply part of its personality. You start doubting yourself. The car remains calm. It has done this before. And finally, the most devious plot of all. Number 3, emotional attachment. This is where British classics really get you. Despite everything, the leaks, the quirks, the way a classic Jaguar can turn fuel into noise with astonishing enthusiasm, you fall for it, you forgive it, you defend it. You start using phrases like, they all do that, and it's just a simple fix, even though you've said that 6 times already. At some point, you'll catch yourself patting the dashboard of an old Rover or talking gently to an Austin Healey as if encouragement might help. And oddly enough, sometimes it does, or at least it feels like it does. That's when you realize the plot has succeeded. You're no longer an owner, you're a caretaker, possibly an accomplice. But here's the twist. This isn't really sabotage, it's a relationship. British classics don't want efficiency. They don't want speed or convenience. They want attention. They want patience. They want you to slow down, listen, and accept that perfection was never the goal. So yes, your British classic is plotting against you, against your schedule, your certainty, and your spare cash. But it's also plotting for something quieter and better. Fewer rushed journeys, more stories. And the kind of memories you only get from a car that occasionally refuses to cooperate. And honestly, you wouldn't have it any other way. There are many questionable decisions a person can make in life. Buying a British classic car may sit comfortably somewhere between joining a pyramid scheme and cutting your own hair. And yet, if you talk to anyone who actually owns one, they'll tell you it's one of the most rewarding, character-building, occasionally ridiculous choices they've ever made. So today, I want to give you 5 reasons, proper, life-enhancing reasons, why you might need a British classic car in your life. Reason 1, British classics are charmingly imperfect, just like you. A British classic is not afraid to show its quirks. An old MG, for example, will happily reveal its entire emotional landscape through the dashboard. A flickering gauge here, a warning light that comes on only when it feels unappreciated. A Triumph may enthusiastically leak oil, but only because it doesn't believe in bottling up its feelings. And if you ever meet a Jaguar XJ from the 70s, you'll discover a car with the swagger of a rock star and the electrical stability of one too. But here's the magic, their flaws make them lovable. A British classic car teaches you that perfection is overrated. It's the rough edges, the little unpredictabilities that create stories, and in a world obsessed with flawless surfaces and seamless interfaces, there's something deeply comforting about a machine that is still perfectly functional while being gloriously, unapologetically human. Reason 2, they turn every journey into a small adventure. Modern cars make driving feel like background noise. British classics, on the other hand, treat every trip, even a run to the shops, like you're off to scale Everest. Start the engine of a Land Rover Series 2 and you'll feel like you're about to explore a remote corner of Kenya. Even if you're only going to Lidl, take an old Mini onto a back road and suddenly you understand why every motoring journalist becomes slightly hysterical around them. Drive a classic Bentley and you'll find yourself talking in a deeper voice and developing opinions about fine leather. British classics don't simply move you from A to B. They create a sense of occasion. They invite you into the moment, into the sound, the smell, the tactility of driving. They whisper, slow down, enjoy this, notice things. And if you listen, you realize that driving can be joyful again. Reason 3, owning one is joining an oddly supportive secret society. British classic car ownership comes with a built-in community, one that spans from tiny pub gatherings to enthusiastic online forums where grown adults debate the moral purity of different carburetor setups. Buy a classic Mini and you'll suddenly find middle-aged strangers waving at you in car parks. Own a Rover P6 for 6 minutes and someone will walk up to you and say, "My uncle had one of those. Let me tell you everything about it." Starting in 1974, MG owners appear to be born with a sixth sense. They can smell another MG owner from 500 yards away and will materialize beside you with advice, spare parts, or biscuits. It's a hobby, yes, but also a family. The cheerful, slightly eccentric sort, who show up with tools when your car won't start. You don't just buy the car, you inherit the tribe. Reason 4, you learn patience, resilience, and a questionable kind of optimism. A British classic car will teach you important life skills, not CV skills. Not useful in the corporate world skills, but the real fundamentals, patience. When something works yesterday but not today. Resourcefulness when the part you need is out of stock indefinitely. And optimism when you see a puddle under the car and think it's probably fine. There's a special kind of self-growth that happens when you try to understand 40-year-old Lucas Electrics, often referred to respectfully as the Prince of Darkness, which should tell you everything you need to know. Yet somehow you manage, you adapt, you learn the car's language, you celebrate small victories like a monk achieving enlightenment, and over time you realize the car has made you calmer, more patient, and better at shrugging off life's little inconveniences. Reason 5, British classics have personality, real unapologetic character. This is the biggest reason of all. A British classic car isn't just something you use, it's something you get to know. They have moods, preferences, favourite temperatures, and occasionally strong opinions about weather. An old Austin Healey has the cheeky grin of a mischievous teenager. A Jaguar E-Type has the sultry confidence of someone who knows they look incredible from every angle. A Land Rover Defender has the emotional range of a steel anvil, but a heart of gold. These cars are alive in a way that modern machines simply aren't. And because they have character, they give you character. You become the person who doesn't just drive somewhere, you arrive somewhere, accompanied by the sound of an old engine and a light spray of oil mist. People smile at British classic. They start conversations. They bring nostalgia, joy, curiosity, and a tiny splash of chaos. And let's be honest, the world is better with a bit of chaos in it. So why do you need a British classic car? Not because it's sensible, not because it's practical, but because it adds colour to your life. It slows you down, toughens you up, and makes everyday moments feel cinematic. It gives you stories to tell. It connects you to people you never would have met, and it reminds you, gently, persistently, that life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. A British classic car will frustrate you, enchant you, challenge you, and occasionally leave you stranded. But it will also make you smile in a way almost nothing else can, and if that isn't a good reason to own one, I don't know what is.